As humans, we have an innate desire for control. When we are in a situation where we are satisfied and have what we want, we don't want it to change. We don't want this equilibrium to change. And when an outside force threatens to disturb this equilibrium, we will do whatever it takes to protect what we have. Join us as we explore major and minor characters in Shakespeare's famous play, Hamlet, where this philosophy is prevalent, mostly in King Claudius.
We that have free souls, it touches us not. That the galley jade wins, our withers are unwrung. Poisons him in his garden for his estate. His name is Gonzago. You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzago's wife.
How fares my lord?
Right now,
Wait.
before he was trying to have this entire journey to obtain the throne. And after he obtained the throne by killing King Hamlet, and basically marrying his wife, Gertrude, now he is transitioning into the state of wanting to protect what he has. And Hamlet masters
on
him.
into Act 3, Scene 3, where King Claudius is praying and attempting to repent his sins, and that's where we see Hamlet kind of sneaking up on him and wanting to kill him at that exact moment. But he says, since I am possessed of those effects for which I did the murder, my crown, mine own ambition, and my queen, may one be pardoned and retain the offense. You know, since he is so happy with all of his belongings and all that he's gotten so far, along with the benefits, then there's no really point of him praying anymore, because, you know, there is no point of return after all he's done.
King
I
Claudius.
think King Claudius himself knows that he can't really get out of this. He goes in to pray, and I think he is trying to get something out of it initially. But then, as he starts talking to himself and, or maybe talking to God, he says right, yeah, he changes.
Yeah.
So he says like right here, like, my fault is past, but oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me for my foul murder. Like, he's kind of like
Sarcastic, like,
yeah, sarcastic, like, how,
even,
yeah.
like, why? You can forgive me for my foul murder?
Yeah, like, I can't get out of this. I'm so far in this, and it's just like, it's a progression right there. And from what Mimi said right there, saying that he's still possessed, he cannot get out of this, and I have so much that I can't give it up now.
It also shows his cognitive dissonance, because he, like, the line that stuck up on me the most is like, may one be pardoned and retain the offense. He's all like, because he wants best of both worlds, yet he cannot, like,
If they're
take the
contradictory.
steps. Yeah, he can't take the steps to, like, achieve both of them at the same time. So he's trying to weigh his options out, and he's trying to decide the best choice for himself, not for anything else.
I like him not, nor stands it safe with us to let his madness range. Therefore prepare you, I your commission will forthwith dispatch. Oh, my offense is rank, and it smells to heaven. It hath the primus eldest curse upon it, a brother's murder. My stronger guilt defeats my strong intent. I stand in pause where I shall first begin and both neglect. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? But my fault is past. But oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me for my foul murder? That cannot be. Since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder, my crown, my own ambition, and my queen, may one be pardoned and retain the offense.
So Hamlet knows that he had killed King Shadow, that something is going to have to lead to the point where he's going to get killed. And then now we're leading into the part where there's a letter of execution.
Yeah, but then I think like in this scene we can talk about, you know, his indirect actions, because he's not actually killing Hamlet himself. It's going to be people in England who's going to read the letter for the execution of Hamlet. Whereas in like Act 4, Scene 7, that's where he's actually planning himself with Laertes to take action.
There's like that transition.
Mhm.
There is a very subtle. But
Yeah,
good
it's a subtle
progression.
transition, yeah.
He's kind of become his father in a sense. Like he sees him as a direct threat. Before he kind of saw him as like a child, and he wasn't really like he wanted to keep him going from to school, and he wanted to keep him just
no,
under his control.
With a dead body without my lord, we cannot get from him
Where is he?
without my lord.
Bring him to me. Now, Hamlet, where is Polonius?
At supper.
At supper? Where?
Not where he's eating, but where he is eating.
Where is Polonius?
Heaven, send hither to see. If thou shalt not find him by the end of the month, thou shalt nose him up as thou go up the stairs into the lobby.
Hamlet, this deed, for thine especial safety, must send thee hence for England.
For England,
I have for England.
see a sheriff that sees thee. But come, for England. Farewell, dear mother.
You two, follow him at foot. Follow, go, away!
If my love thou holds at odds, all solving process by letters congruent to that death of Hamlet, do it, England, thou must cure me, till I know it is done, however my haps, my joys will never.
And I think that transition to kill Hamlet.
How now, sweet queen?
My acquit sincere, and you must put me in your heart for friend. Sith, you've heard, and with a knowing ear, that Hamlet, which hath your noble father.
Tell me why you proceed not against these feats, so crimeful and so capital in nature.
For two special reasons. The queen is his mother, lives almost by his looks, and for myself, my virtue or my plague, the other motive. Why to a public count I might not go is the greatest love the general gender bears.
And so have I a noble father lost, a sister driven into desperate terms, but my revenge will come.
Oh no,
Letters from Hamlet. Here's to the queen, and here's to the king.
You shall know that I am set naked on your kingdom. Tomorrow shall I beg leave to recount the occasion of my sudden and more strange return. What does this mean? Are all the rest come back?
Really well into Act 4, Scene 7, where he now feels more justified to kill Hamlet because now Polonius is dead because of Hamlet. That act of insanity that you brought up, apparently it wasn't insane. Hamlet wasn't actually insane, but apparently now his own actions, Hamlet was insane enough to kill Polonius in an act of rush.
And then we can see that King Claudius kind of manipulates Laertes, saying, well, explicitly stating that like it was Hamlet that killed your dad, and it kind of he puts that thought process into Laertes' head that Hamlet's a really bad guy when it's really King Claudius that's been doing all these heinous deeds, trying to like obtain and like keep the throne. And then it kind of goes into his quote where he says, "Revenge should have no bounds."
Revenge should have no bounds.
It's kind of reinstating that he'll do anything like possible in order to maintain his status as king, even if it's killing Hamlet, his own stepson or his nephew.
Yeah, it's also just, I think, Laertes, and by doing this, by collaborating with each other, they're developing their own coping mechanism. They aren't able to deal with the deaths of their family members in the normal way that people do, which is mourn. They want to take action upon what has happened, and so Laertes trying to find any excuse, any rebounds, like to find justification for Polonius' sudden death, and King Claudius finding any desperate method, even through Laertes, just to basically get rid of Hamlet and eliminate this threat that is changing the status quo and what he has right now. So yeah, I think this is their own coping mechanism, and as Mimi said, that they'll do anything to protect what they have, and so whatever has more than one, like basically now they have the power of Laertes, his fencing power, as well as King Claudius.
Well, I think adding on to like the snowball effect in psychological terms, like we know that Hamlet is basically putting on this act of insanity. So then I think that kind of just messes up with King Claudius's like thought logic, and like since he kind of infers that Hamlet is actually insane, he's gonna do whatever he takes to get rid of him. But then I think he's underestimating like the circumstances, because he's just thinking, oh, I'm gonna send him to England and have the people execute him there, thinking like that's it, like I'm done. But he kind of,
the snowball effect, and you have to keep going, because once you've killed one person, you
yeah,
have to
yeah,
you have to keep on going.
Yeah.
and then like if he kills Hamlet, then I mean more people are gonna start putting two and two together. Like King Hamlet disappears, and then his son Hamlet disappears. Like what's going on? And then in order to cover that up, then King Claudius will have to do more and more in order to keep his reputation.
Yeah, and you can kind of relate that back to the religion praying scene when he actually
analyze, because the way he changes his perspective of other people and the way he thinks about himself changes, because now he is just as how he needs to protect the throne, like the actions he needs to take to change and protect his throne and change his status quo and keep it. It is also the same way that he changes his perspective of how he thinks himself. Before, he thought he was okay. He had this all going on. He had control of the situation. And later on, he doesn't have control. He realizes, and when he panics, when he realizes at this point that he doesn't have any control, he resorts to the most like terrible things you could ever think of, which is